minutes, the engine ignites to lift Orion into a high Earth orbit. Then for the next 24 hours, the astronauts and mission control perform a full systems check, manually test flying the ship for future flights that will involve rendezvous and docking maneuvers. 23 hours later, in full auto mode, Orion will start the TLI burn translunar injection, beginning a 4-day journey to the moon and a figure-8 path extending more than 230,000 miles from Earth.
So this is the Orion crew stack. Up on top you see that is the crew module, the top with the silver band around it. That's where the 4 astronauts will sit. Down below that you have the European service module that's in the middle, and you've got 4 solar arrays. Right now you can see 2 of them, but that is the power pack that will essentially power Orion 2's journey around the moon.
It'll be about 1 day orbiting the Earth, 4 days to the moon, 4 days back. And then we'll really have a certified human-rated lunar-capable spacecraft in the Orion. We are 41,541 miles from the moon. For 3 years, the Artemis II crew has been training hard, mastering cockpit flight controls, fitting and refitting spacesuits, intense classes for memorizing systems, procedures, and backups, and endless hours on their backs in the Orion simulator.
If I look tired, it's because I am tired. This has been an incredible week of training. A very intense week for sure. This is...
The commander will sit, and the pilot will sit right here. Now Orion is designed to fly itself fully automated, but either the pilot or the commander can take control. They both have the same controls on either side, and Orion is a lot lighter. They've gotten rid of a lot of the Apollo cables, and replaced it with computers.
Still, it's a 10-day mission with little room to stretch out, especially for 6'2" Jeremy Hansen. Yeah, Canada did get more than its fair share of the volume on this mission by assigning me to this, and these 3 are going to have to mentor me a little bit as I get my space legs, because they've all had 6-ish months on the space station, and I'll be learning how to float and fly and bumping into stuff. And I'll need a little help probably.
Like all NASA crews before them, the Artemis crew voted on a name for their Orion spaceship. The choice Integrity. Commander Reed Weissman, why did you pick that name? We talk a lot about this concept of being integrity is not like a pure simple thing like you would think, but you can be in integrity, and you can be out of integrity. And so for us as the first crew of Artemis, we strive every day to be in integrity, and there are moments where we slip up and we go, hey, I'm out of integrity right now and I'm working on it, and that's all we have to say to each other.
And the name Integrity comes at a time of great political polarization in the country. This mission, they hope, will serve to unite Americans, much as Apollo 8 did after a very turbulent 1968. Well, good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you, on the good Earth.
There's a lot of little things that will divide us. It'll fill in the cracks and expand if we let it. And it would be nice if this could just be some caulking, some reinforcement to fill in those spaces to prevent division. I hope this mission can bring people together. We were very intentional about the design of this patch for Artemis II to look like all. And we want everybody to be a part of this mission, and so I hope we can contribute in that way.
Just maybe this lunar mission for the 21st century will capture the country's imagination. Since 1973, astronauts have been staying in low Earth orbit. Now they will fly just 4,300 miles above the lunar surface, the closest since the Apollo 17 astronauts who left the moon in 1972. Rick Hendling is the Artemis II Reentry flight director. You're going to send astronauts further from the Earth than ever before, correct? It's going to be a tremendous mission to be a part of. We're going to send back some imagery that we know will just wow the public. The hope that after Artemis II and Artemis III crew will be the first to land on the moon since those glory days of Apollo, landing near Shackleton's crater on the moon's cold and shadowed South Pole, where water ice is thought to exist, a critical resource for future base and rocket fuel. Already, astronauts are training in NASA's 6-million-gallon neutral buoyancy lab in Houston, replicating moonwalks and collecting lunar samples. And far from Houston, training in the barren and desolate volcanic fields of Iceland, where the geology is eerily similar to the moon's. We hope to learn about the evolution of the moon, but actually a lot of the objectives that those astronauts are going to be doing will tell us about the evolution of our own planet and the entire solar system. I do think this is the greatest adventure in human history. I think what we stand to learn out there can absolutely change the trajectory of humankind. The ultimate goal to build a permanent base on the moon, complete with a nuclear reactor to generate power, and then on to Mars.
Apollo 17. Astronaut Harrison Schmitt, himself a geologist, has been pushing for more than 50 years. Human evolution in the universe has begun. I tried to make this point as we left the moon. In 1972,
AIR Force Lieutenant Colonel and NASA astronaut Nicole Ayers is all in. She spent 146 days on the space station. I was that little kid who had an affinity for the sky and for space, and sealed the deal in 4th grade when I went to space camp and got to see everything, and I grew up in the shuttle era, so I didn't necessarily just want to be on the shuttle. I wanted to fly the shuttle. Yes, going to Mars is absolutely on the horizon for us. In our lifetimes we can absolutely get there. I believe so, and I want it to be in my lifetime because that is a goal for myself to be able to see that. But first, the moon is calling.
Step inside to one of the most iconic symbols of America's space program, NASA's original mission control restored as a museum down to the ashtray, RC Cola can, and slide rule. To that day in 1969, we're landing. Houston, you're landing when Apollo 11 landed on the moon. 9 months later, the drama of Apollo 13 played out here. Okay.
what's it like to come back and see this and stand here now? It brings back a few memories. In 2022, we asked Apollo lead flight director Milt Windler, then 90 years old, to come back. What does this data here tell you? What is this about? It's about what the spacecraft is doing, what the systems are doing, and sit down with Rick Labro. It's hallowed ground where you walk in here and you still have memorabilia on the wall that reminds you of the accomplishments that these guys did in the Apollo days.
The lead flight director on the uncrewed Artemis I mission to the moon. When these guys did it, nobody had done it before. We're riding on their shoulders because they figured it out for us, and that's huge. The physics hadn't changed. F is still equal to ma. It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is good. Anyway, so a lot of things are different. The tools are different. Newton's laws of motion are the same, but technology has come a long way since 1969. There is more computing power in my cell phone than you had during the Apollo days. How did you do that? Well, because that's all we had. We did it with what we had. We didn't know what we didn't have. My generation looks back at what they accomplished and wonders how they did it.
Opened in 1965, they ran every Apollo mission out of here, every moon landing, and then they ran Skylab and shuttle missions, including the loss of Challenger. Today, an updated mission control runs the space station. Another next door will run the Artemis II mission. 15 to 18 controllers on duty, 24/7, until the astronauts are safely back on Earth.
Veteran controller Judd Freeling is the Artemis II Ascent Flight Director. I grew up in the shuttle generation, and shuttle low Earth was kind of the talk all in the space community. Never did I think that we'd be going back to the moon, and I would be part of that.
And already NASA is preparing for the next big mission. Are you ready to meet the 24th group of astronaut candidates? Wearing their astronaut blues for the first time. A standing ovation from NASA employees, family, and friends for the newest class to make the cut. You are America's best and brightest, and we're going to need America's best and brightest because we have a bold exploration plans for the future. 4 men and 6 women selected from 8,000 applicants. They include fighter and test pilots, engineers, and a medical doctor.
When engineer Yuri Kubo told his wife and 2 small children he was going to be an astronaut, a surprise reaction. My kids were mostly concerned about me meeting an alien, so that was like, okay, it could still happen, but they'll probably come in peace. I'm confident. I feel good about it.
Also new on the job, NASA Chief Jared Isaacman. Jared now opening Dragon Resilience into space. He's the self-made billionaire who in 2024 became the first private astronaut to step out of an orbiting SpaceX ship. Looks like a perfect world. Isaacman is also an accomplished pilot with 7,000 hours in the cockpit. I've lived the American dream and I owe this nation a great debt. Isaacman made his fortune by founding credit card processing company Shift. 4 payments, but his passion has always been space. He's led 2 private space missions in SpaceX capsules in 2023. I caught up with him while training in Colorado. Why do this? Why do we need to go into space? I mean, there are questions that we've been asking ourselves since like the dawn of civilization, right? That we don't know the answers to, and the universe is so big. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk wants to prioritize a Mars mission rather than the moon. Both Republicans and Democrats have pressed Isaacman to reaffirm the moon mission comes first. We don't have to make a binary decision of moon versus Mars, or moon has to come first versus Mars. I think we could be paralleling these efforts. Both America and China are targeting the lunar South Pole for a landing, but who will land first, America or China? We're just going to pursue excellence like I talked about before. That's how you win a space race, and that's just how you move our countries forward.
But China has also suffered setbacks. Its own astronauts, taikonauts, were stranded on China's space station after their return ship was hit by space debris. And no one really knows how close China is to actually putting iconauts on the moon. Whoever gets there first could use the moon for a springboard to Mars, and the first boot that ever sets foot on the surface of the red planet will be an American astronaut and could well be one of these boots right here.
I am just pinching myself that this is even possible. You know what a chapter of human spaceflight that we are in, that this is even possible today.
As NASA's first female launch director, Charlie Blackwell Thompson was in charge during Artemis I. Is it past due that America returns to the moon? I'm of a generation where when the TV cart came into the classroom, something big was happening. And I remember that last moon landing. I was in elementary school. The TV cart came in and we're watching our astronauts on the surface of the moon. And you know, being a first grader, ascent grader going out and looking up at the moon, and just being struck with wonder. And so, when I think about that, and this is a connection that I've kept my entire life, right? I still look up at the moon with that same sense of curiosity and wonder. And so you know, when I think about young kids that maybe will get that same sensation or will get that same sensation, I think, wow, it's her call when to light the rockets that sent astronauts back to a rendezvous with the moon. 53 years after Apollo, the Artemis generation is assuming the legacy from her twin and aiming for the heavens. We've always looked at the moon and said we've been there, but for this whole generation, for our generation, for the younger generation, and for the Artemis generation, they're gonna look at the moon now and go, we are there. It is a fundamental shift. It just gave me chills like that. It just changes the way these kids are gonna look at the moon. They're not gonna look at it as a part of a history book. They're gonna look at it a part of their legacy. That is powerful.